time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, welcome back and happy Friday. All right, guys. Well, I know that normally we recap the Real Housewives of Dubai and the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on Thursday, but yesterday was Jason and I's anniversary. So thank you to all of you for the amazing, beautiful wishes for our happy anniversary. But yes, as you guys heard in my earlier video, Jason ended up getting food poisoning. So we have him for a short time today. He's not feeling the best. So thank you to Jason for joining us, but thank you to all of you guys for being so great, not only with the Jen Shaw interview, but also with the anniversary wishes. Now, guys, before we bring up Jason, you know how this works. If you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to, well, hit the notification bell for the future. And also, I want to hear what you guys would rate this week's episode a 1 to 10. Let's welcome Jason.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, okay. So happy anniversary. Yeah. Jason, how was your anniversary?
It was great. I did get food poisoning though, which is crazy. I haven't had food poisoning in I can't even remember the last time, but anyway, it's good. It flushed the system, which is, it's not a good thing, but you know what I mean?
Ugh. Well, the cool thing was for anybody, because I did get a lot of questions like, how was your anniversary? Something that was kind of special yesterday is we went out of our way and drove up to this restaurant that we've never been to on the beach. And all of a sudden you see people running. Like it reminded me of paparazzi on Rodeo Drive. Everyone's running and we're like, what is everyone running for? We didn't know if a whale was breaching in the water because we were right on the ocean. And we saw this beautiful loggerhead turtle. She had to have been around like 60 to 80 years old, coming onto the shore, and she was laying her eggs in the middle of the day. There was a storm coming and we were sitting outside and we were covered by this kind of tent, but she must have known because the turtles don't normally lay their eggs in the day. They lay them at night because they want privacy, but it was really cool to see. Jason, I don't think you've ever seen it, right?
Mm-mm.
No, I haven't seen it either. So yes. All right, guys, less than 3 minutes in, almost 150 in the room. Let's talk some Dubai. I'm going to ask everybody in the live chat, what would you rate this week's episode? I saw that there was a dip in the ratings. It wasn't as interesting as the premiere, I'm not going to lie, but we still have to give them a chance and get to know them a little bit better. Jason, what would you give them?
I honestly, I hate to say this. I have so many kind of feelings about Dubai because I was so excited. You know, they're getting us excited about Caroline Stanbury. Now you're throwing Chanel on us like this. I am like all here for it, especially that first episode kind of lived up to the hype.
Right.
This just dropped for me completely. I was so bored watching this episode. And I understand we're still getting to know these ladies. We're still getting to know their dynamics and we're still getting to know their lives and all these characters and sub characters that play different parts in this show. I understand that. I was just so bored last night. So bored. So I'm going to have to give it a 2.
And you... Not a 2.
I was so bored, guys. I'm so sorry. Like,
oh my gosh.
There's a lot of things I like. I love the production value of it. It reminds me, you know, like some of the music they're using, and then the roundabout town is a little more like Ladies of London for me. I love the new production value that we see in like Miami. Definitely. Last night was just disappointing, but I do have to say really quickly, if I had a favorite housewife, I know you didn't ask me that question, but I'm just going to tell you. But if I have a favorite housewife right now, I love Caroline Stanbury. You know that. I love Chanel Ayan. I just love her. I think she's fantastic reality television. Fantastic. But I'm really interested in Sarah Al-Madani.
I'm interested in Sarah too.
I like her.
Tia B had said that you hyped up, and this was both of us. We both did this, hyped up Caroline Stanbury, and she's boring to me. It's interesting. She's in a different place in her life, and we're getting a different version of her. Ladies of London Caroline is very different than Dubai Caroline. I'm kind of shocked myself, and I love Caroline Stanbury. We have a great relationship with her, but she's not my front runner.
Who is your front runner?
Oh, that's an easy one. Hold on. I'll bring her up right now.
It's Chanel, isn't it?
Yes, it's the one on the right.
You know, I do have to say, with kind of all of the ladies too, I love the full confessionals, by the way, where you see them sitting down in the full look.
Yes.
Fabulous. Again, I love the production, but I do have to say, when it does come to like Chanel, I like Chanel a lot, but what it was so funny is when they met up for lunch to discuss, you know, Nina's dinner and talk about Caroline Stanbury. I had no idea Nina and Caroline didn't like each other before. And then Nina kind of explains to Chanel, hey, listen, we started off on the wrong foot too. Caroline and I were not each other's cup of tea. And I think you guys just have a miscommunication. And Nina kind of wants to bring Chanel and Caroline together to kind of see if they can mend fences and work on some communication. So listen, I'm sorry I'm taking over your whole thing right now, but
no, you're not.
I do have like a premonition that I do feel like Chanel and Caroline might be really good friends by the end of the season.
Listen, they would be a force to be reckoned with, but also, to be fair, Caroline looked at Chanel in the face and she's like, I don't like you. And she's like, hi, Stanbury. And she's like, my name's Caroline. And she's like, yeah, well, your name's also Stanbury. And she's like, no, that's my surname. My name's Caroline. Thank you. And I'm like, oh, the shade already. But Chanel, she has a very interesting background and she's coming in and she's not caring to show her full authentic self. And that's what makes for a great housewife. She's also not afraid of anyone, period, dot, which I love. And, you know,
getting to know a little bit of her backstory when she showed up. And she showed up, that's not actually how Nina was. This was Nina's Thanksgiving dinner, but Nina came like this. And she's like, you know what? Trying to explain to Nina, I don't need to like her. I had a really hard childhood where my father used to beat me and he used to kind of neglect me and he used to push me to the side. So with the way that Caroline kind of didn't include me when she included the rest of the women and she left me out, and the way that she's treating me at this point, that triggers me because that brings up old feelings of things that I went through with my own father. And Nina's like, okay, I'm starting to understand where you're coming from. And then cue to the full-length confessionals when she's like, you know what? I don't really have to explain this to Nina. I'm not interested in having a conversation with Caroline Stanbury. And to be honest, Nina's boring. I'm like, okay. She's giving us everything, right? Even when she came to the lunch with Nina and sat down, she's like, I look good. I look fucking good. You know, I love her, you know, and she makes, like, her confidence kind of rubs off on the television. I do have to say, though, Nina looked amazing when she walked in. Sometimes less is more. She looked fantastic, too. Nina, like I said, last episode was really not my favorite. I found her kind of boring, but we kind of need that element, that kind of person in the middle to kind of be that person in Housewives, you know? So I don't
like
know.
The peacemaker.
We're still getting to know them. I hope the third episode kind of jolts it a little bit. I mean, for us as viewers and also for the ratings.
I agree with that. You know, and to be fair, they revealed, like, they're already exposing each other. And Caroline Brooks, I think it was, who was exposing the fact that she's like, how in the hell, when she showed this photo to Lisa Milan, and she's like, there's this photo that Nina posted of Caroline saying, every brunette needs a blonde bestie. And she's like, I'm going to hold back on this. This is what Lisa said. I'm going to hold back, but she said some really horrible things about Caroline. And some of those things included ghetto and trashy. And I'm like, you're holding back? That's holding back? Ghetto and trashy? Like, there's already, I mean, the drama it's getting me. And one of the dynamics that I don't understand yet, but I'm very interested in, it's giving me very Karen Huger, Giselle Bryant, or like Ramona and Sonia, Caroline B, and also Chanel. Because Caroline
together
acknowledged the fact. Yeah, well, I mean, she acknowledged the fact in this episode. She's like, listen, sometimes like we fight, we go at it. I don't understand. Like, I don't get what goes on, but then we can be over by the bathroom right after we fight it out. And we're like, hey girl, you want to take a shot? And that reminds me of Karen and Giselle, Ramona and Sonia. I mean, how many other people? I can go down the list and talk about people that we've seen this with on all of the Housewives.
Hey, as long as it's not a Kyle and Kim, we're good.
Yeah, no, we don't need a Kyle and Kim. Okay. Mashed potatoes with no butter. That was actually really funny.
Chanel has some of the best housewife lines, and I don't even know. You know what's so funny is every time she does have a confessional and she speaks so eloquently and so fast, it's like, you didn't make this shit up. You didn't sit at home and make these lines up this is who you are. And I really do appreciate that from Chanel.
Yeah. And, you know, Chanel's backstory, this is one of the things that I'm really interested in, because even though this episode wasn't the most exciting to me, there were a few moments in this episode where we got to learn more about the women. Like, for example, Sarah Almadani. She's raising her son, right? Raising her son without the help of his father. And she's trying to still instill her culture in him while also having him know that, listen, you don't have to, in the culture, it's like women need to be a certain way and men are kind of the dominant ones. And she's asking him, who cooks? And he's like, well, boys and girls can cook. And she's like instilling all of these values in him because she doesn't want him to grow up and be like, I'm the man, you're the woman. And I'm liking how she's just, she's there are so many layers to Sarah Al-Madani, and the way that she's trying to kind of open up to us and show us who she is. She's a businesswoman. She's strong. She's raising her kids, and she still wants to keep all of those core values that she was taught growing up, but she wants to kind of modernize those a little bit and be her own person and teach her kids to do the same. I was not expecting that going into this franchise. I was under the impression, especially with a lot of the feedback and backlash, one, we weren't going to see the women taking shots, drinking, or going to One Oak. Okay. I didn't think that was going to happen.
This is true. Yeah.
But also, I thought that the women were going to have to be very strict to the rules that came with their own cultures, because Dubai, you don't know. You just kind of go based off of what everyone's saying. I don't want to sit here and pretend like I know. I've never been to Dubai. You have.
Yeah. Listen, everyone experiences something different in Dubai. We have gay friends that live in Dubai. I've been to Dubai. It's a really different outlook. And I was wondering how much of that kind of thing we would see in the show. I want to say, what's really interesting is to see kind of, let's see, Sarah Al-Madani has a housekeeper. I forgot her name, but she really includes her and stuff. Whereas like Caroline has, and they all have housekeepers. They all have like, I don't know. I don't want to get into like kind of I don't know what I'm trying to say, but the thing about it, but there's much more to see. And I really want to just kind of see where this is going.
Right.
Sorry, my food poisoning, guys, is taking over my brain today.
No.
So I apologize.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate you, Jason.
I just want to say I don't know how much of authentic Dubai we're going to see, and I really do wish they're going to show more of that culture, the issues, the problems. I do want to see a little bit of that in there, and how these ladies can relate or not relate to those issues.
See, I'm gonna kind of give you a little bit of a rebuttal for a second. Amy Seeks Truth, thank you so much for the super sticker. And Reality with Krista Marie. Hi, just saying hello, and this is for Jason to get some Imitrol and keep it around. It's the only thing that brought me back to life after my food poisoning. Love you all. XOXO. So glad we're back. Oh, thank you, Krista.
Thanks, Krista.
I want to say really quick about what you're saying. You want to see some of the harder issues. We saw a lot addressed in New York, and it turned a lot of the fans off, because this is what we were seeing, checking in on every major media outlet. When you turned on the news, when you turned on NBC, CNN, all of these different, news outlets, we were seeing what was happening in the world. And it's really heavy. So a lot of fans were reacting saying, we want to watch Housewives to check out and kind of have some sort of cotton candy drama. And that's not what we got on the last season of The Real Housewives of New York. So
now I have a rebuttal for you. The Real Housewives of New York was it was more political than anything else. And in Dubai, it's actually the culture. So I do want to see, like, we see Sarah Al-Madani interact with her housekeeper, and then we see how Caroline Brooks interacts with hers. Like, can you get me my coffee? Where's my sunglasses? It's like, really?
Yeah. No, I didn't like how she was treating her housekeeper. And when Jason and I lived in Thailand, just kind of like a tidbit, we lived with this woman who, she was amazing. She's a great friend of ours, and she's like one of the biggest stars in Thailand. And she has housekeepers who they've been around her family for a long time. And remember, like, it would break my heart because they would get paid on the weekends, and then they would go up to the gas station and they would buy themselves like candy bars and stuff like that. But then they were working 24 hours. If they were called on, they were there to work, right? And remember, I would like go up to the store and I would buy things, and I would they would always ask, do we need anything? I'm like, I can do everything on my own. Thank you so much. And then I would ask if they needed stuff. And you were the same way. Like, we just weren't used to that. So it was
a different dynamic. In Thailand, there's very rich and there's very poor, and there's no in between. And, you see that a lot in that country. So it just makes it very, I don't know, but like you said, like it was very different, because we're not used to that. We're not used to having people do things for us, be around. That is their life. And yeah.
And Jason had to tell me, because I'm a Cancer. So I would sit there and like, they would come over and they would always try to help out. And I would just start crying. And Jason's like, stop crying. You're making them feel bad, when this is what they do. This is what they know. And this is their job. They help out, and they're a part of the family, essentially. and they work for the family. And I was like, no, I don't want anyone to do anything for, I don't know. It was just different. And
It's different.
Watching Caroline, but they were also so amazing to their housekeepers, to be fair. They were really sweet to them and they gave them a lot. So when I'm watching Caroline in the way that she's treating her housekeeper, I don't necessarily love it. Caroline Stanbury, I have yet to decide. But then also Sarah Al-Madani, I was like, oh no, you're a sweetheart. Like you make her a part of the family.
I think my thing with Caroline Brooks is I think it was put on for show for the cameras. You know, oh, I'm this fabulous person. I need my coffee. Oh, can you grab my sunglasses? It's like, girl, that is so early 2000s. Like it's cool to actually do your own shit. You know,
right,
so.
right. That's the thing. It's cool to do your own shit. It's cool to be self-sufficient. You can get up and grab your own sunglasses.
Yeah, I mean, stairs have never hurt anyone.
Yes. I mean, it's really not, it's not the end of the world, but let's get back into it because we were watching some of these traditions that we know in America, like Thanksgiving, you know, be brought over to Dubai and seeing some of the women navigate that. And what I'm talking about is this one scene in particular. On the left, we see Nina, and Nina is from Texas, right? But she's also Muslim, right?
Who, Nina?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lebanese.
She's Lebanese. Okay. So she's Lebanese and her husband is Indian, but from Dubai?
That I haven't really gotten. I didn't take that away from.
I'm trying to figure out the dynamics here. The point is, we got a little bit of backstory about how they met, and they met through a mutual friend, and he saw a photo of her and wanted to reach out, and he was flying back and forth from Dubai to America in order to kind of just show, hey, listen, I'm interested. I like you. And when they first met, they didn't have anything. And then he was explaining that he invested in Bitcoin and he started these different businesses, and now they're very successful today. So she ended up moving to Dubai, starting a family with him. And now she wants to still instill some of these American traditions that she grew up loving, like Thanksgiving, where she brings the whole family together and she mixed not only a little bit of her Lebanese culture, but some of the American culture. And we saw the menu. And I think that's pretty interesting. Like that's special because I guess I'm coming from a place of I don't know other traditions and cultures only because I only grew up American. So I've never really celebrated anything else with Thanksgiving or mixing it with, you know, a different country and what you would do in a different country. So watching them do this, I thought it was really special that she's trying to keep both traditions. And then you see Chanel and she's like, don't even talk to me about that shit. And I was like,
talk to me about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, she's like, don't talk to me about Thanksgiving. I don't want to talk about Thanksgiving. Oh.
I don't like Thanksgiving. I don't know why. I've never liked it.
I mean, listen, actually, you know my take on it too. I'm not a big Thanksgiving person. In our last
listen, I could pass on Halloween and Thanksgiving, but I cannot pass on Christmas and New Year's.
Christmas, New Year's are my favorite. Thanksgiving, Halloween, no, I'm not a fan. But let's keep it moving. Now we have Chanel, who's also celebrating, and she goes over to Lisa Milan's house. And when she does, she decides to bring a gift that nobody saw coming. This poor goat. This goat that ends up swimming in the pool, and she brings the goat. And when she did, she shows up and she's like, listen, this is the goat and this is what we do. It's in my culture. Like, this is a very nice gift. And Lisa's like, what the hell do I do with that? And she's like, once I give you the goat is your problem. It's not my problem. And Lisa's like, why the hell? I would be pissed. She has like 3 kids running around, a full husband. She has a lot going on in her life. And you drop off a goat? Don't ever show up to my house with a goat. Right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, no.
It was so funny when the goat jumped in the pool. All I could think of is your goat's in the pool. Your husband's in the pool.
Your goat's in the pool. And I did learn from this episode too, when Lisa was shopping, I didn't realize in the grocery stores, I guess kind of like in California, you have grocery stores where you can buy liquor and your groceries in the same store. In Florida, you have to buy your liquor and wine in a separate grocery store than you do from the grocery store. Okay. So
just
that's
liquor.
different.
Just liquor.
Oh, just liquor. So you can buy your wine in the grocery store, but your liquor is separate, even at Costco. So that was different. And coming back to Florida, I was like, that's weird. And then looking over in Dubai, they have a section of the grocery store that doesn't allow meat in it. So Lisa's favorite section is the side that's not Muslim, where she gets to buy.
Yeah, it's a religious thing. So, it's just like sometimes with Jews, like my grandfather had everything kosher. It was just it's just what they do in their religion.
Right. That was
It's not
kind
like
of
a Costco thing where you can't buy your alcohol here, but
no, and I learned that in LA too. I remember when we went over to a friend's house and they were Jewish and they were cooking the meat, cooking something on the grill. And I was like, can you throw my hamburger on the grill? And they're like, no. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I didn't know I'm a finicky eater.
Have you ever seen a kosher kitchen?
Yes.
Remember in LA? So
Yes.
this is like, I mean, I remember it from my grandfather, but a kosher kitchen is very like, everything is separate. There's different places to make certain things than other things. I'm not going to get into it, but you know what I mean.
And Joe Mendoza, honestly, I prefer the goat. Actually, maybe the pot of onions, because the onions you can throw out. But no, Jason and I were real estate agents for a second. Guys, over 400 in the room, smash that like button. I remember we had these clients who, they were Jewish, and we walked in and I was showing them this house and showing them with Jason. And there was like this little sink faucet thing over the stove. And I was like, guys, look at this, where you can wash your hands after mixing the food and everything. And they're like, that's to fill the pot with water. And I was like, oh my God, I'm the worst real estate agent in the world. Jason, did we lose you?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Correction, Trader Joe's sells wine. Yes, you're right. You're right. Trader Joe's does sell wine. But getting back to it, we also saw a part where Caroline Stanbury liked to self-promote in this episode, and she did when the women came over and she had an abundance of puppies. And in this abundance of puppies, she's like, look at these cute mugs. It's for my podcast, Divorced Not Dead. I have to show you my podcast room. And I don't know if you noticed this, but do you see how hard she's pushing Sergio into this?
Yeah, what they remind me of is Caroline gives me that Lisa Vanderpump kind of vibe, but instead of Lisa being younger than Ken, Sergio is like a Ken, but he's like a younger Ken. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like he's just holding the dog and like always around, but like, why are you there? I like Sergio. I think he's great, but he doesn't need to be involved in every scene.
No, I think that the women will eventually get sick of that, because we're not going to see, we see a little bit of Chanel's husband. We see a little bit of Lisa's husband. We see tidbits here and there, and even Nina's husband, but we're not really like Sergio in every one of Caroline's scenes for the most part, except for that first dinner at the premiere night, Nina's dinner. That was the only time we didn't see Sergio. And Sergio is always right there. He loves the camera, you can tell, but he also brings that youthful energy. Another scene that I didn't really understand was in this episode, and I've seen it before in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where the ladies went to the mall in Dubai and you get taken around on a cart. And I thought it was really funny when Caroline's like, what, like I can't walk or something? But then why are we looking at jewelry like necklaces that are $5.6 million while you're also trying to tell us that you're, getting kicked out of your house because they sold this house and it's really hard to buy a home if you're self-employed in Dubai?
Because when you go to get look at jewelry that's $5.6 million, it's not for you to buy to wear. It's you're going to wear it at an event for this company. You got to remember that Caroline is a luxury brand ambassador. That is one of her main things.
That is why.
So, yeah, she'll wear this jewelry at events or promote it or on social media or whatever she does. I think that's why they were looking at that.
No, I forgot totally about that. She is a luxury brand ambassador. So even probably at her wedding and at these different events, it's like old school, going back to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when she did the Beverly Hills Lifestyle magazine, and Stassi was sent over to the jewelry store because they had $1 million worth of jewelry and they were having her just wear it for the shoot and then they take it back.
And so, I believe, and I'm going back to a picture, I believe she wore that somewhere, that exact necklace.
I mean, but I wouldn't be.
I'd have to go check it out. Remember that she hasn't gotten married yet in the show. So that is coming up, and I'm sure they're going to be looking at a lot of things she's going to be wearing, not necessarily buying.
Yeah, $5.6 million.
But if you watch their journey about building this house on YouTube, they have a YouTube that's kind of fun to watch. I mean, some of it is fun to watch, but they're building their brand new dream home. And it's interesting to just watch the progress of that. And even where Caroline lives now in the show, you can get like a house tour of it. It's kind of interesting. Is
the new house big?
Yes. It's like, I think they said 3 times the size of the house they're in now.
Oh my gosh. So she said that you have to put 30 to 40% down. I'm guessing that would easily be a $5 million house that they're probably building, right?
I don't know.
So 40% times 5 million, $2 million down. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I agree with this. Sergio seems like he would like to get in the
Yeah,
drama.
I wonder if he's going to get involved because we see him in the preview a little bit when they're out and about, kind of arguing with Caroline, or that's what production makes it look like anyway. And I'm curious if he is going to jump in and get in between anything or kind of get involved in conversations, because Sergio seems like he's not one of them who will just sit back. Kind of like Lisa's husband is cool and he comes in when he needs to, but then he kind of steps away, or like he'll say things when he needs to, but he'll step away. It's only 2 episodes in, so I don't know how the husbands are going to play a role, moving forward. But I feel like Sergio will have a lot to do with the ladies, like you said.
Or they're trying to work on getting Sergio and Caroline's relationship out there enough. And if they start from this point A, who knows, 5 seasons in, with the whole family around and this journey of potentially wanting to have another child, which she did say that Sergio wants a child, then maybe they're working on their own spinoff and they're just like way ahead of the curve.
I mean, Peacock. Do you think that Dubai should have been on Peacock?
No.
Really?
No, I don't. I think they should take Orange County and put that, like, I don't know.
Like a revamp of Orange County and put it on Peacock?
Yeah, just put that on Peacock. Put Orange County on Peacock, leave Miami on Peacock, New York, stick all of that on Peacock. I feel like we're done. New Jersey, we're good with. I like New Jersey. I like Potomac. Atlanta, I'm iffy this season. I can't wait to see the next season of Salt Lake City for sure. Beverly Hills, it's definitely bringing it. I'm actually way more excited to talk about this week's episode of Beverly Hills, which was a lot more interesting and problematic for sure than this week's episode of Real Housewives of Dubai. And it's way too early for them to come in with a slow episode. But again, I think we have to get to know them. And watching Chanel on Watch What Happens Live, Andy loves her. He's like obsessed with Chanel. And Chanel's like, listen, I'm jet lagged and I'm drunk. You guys got me drunk. I'm on this show. He's like, Chanel, you look like you're in a reunion dress. She's like, if you think this is a reunion dress, honey, you're out of your mind. I'm like,
and I think this is kind of the quirks and things she says that's why we like her.
Yeah, she's definitely all over the place. Yes, full revamp of OC and NY. I'm so bored of Dubai. And I hate to be like that. We were so excited for Dubai. I think we need.
Hey, listen, I mean, this is how it always starts. It's with Salt Lake, with Potomac. It just takes a second for a new franchise, new women. You really have to learn them. I think Salt Lake kind of got lucky because by the end, we all kind of saw who they were. And then second season, we're like, okay, we're set. We're in. You got to let that foundation kind of build first. And I think that's where we are with Dubai. I don't know. I was just so looking forward to this. And the first episode, like I said, blew me out of the water. And then this one just brought me straight back down. So let's see. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take some callers and see what they have to say about this. And then after this, you guys know at 12 o'clock, we will be back to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And you can see that there's a banner down at the bottom. Keep an eye out tomorrow for a video that we're dropping that has a big announcement. Jason's been working on the video, so that'll be a lot of fun. This has been one hell of a week. We've gotten a lot of exciting news. Then we had the interview, and then of course we have the new shows. We're back into lives. We had an anniversary. I'm like, we need a vacation from this week. But okay, let's take some callers. Hi, Joe.
Hi guys, happy Friday and happy anniversary to you guys.
Thank you. Happy Friday. I mean, happy anniversary to everybody except for Jason, who had food poisoning.
But I guess silver lining, maybe like that. Whatever he was expelling could also, get rid of some other stuff in the system. So, reducing a couple other pounds. So it's all good.
Listen, I don't want to be nasty about this, but I've never heard somebody aggressively like upchuck in my life. And I was just like, oh, I don't know what to do.
This is the worst Real Housewives of Dubai recap ever, by the way.
Sorry,
just because we've talked about my food poisoning. Hey, I love a good purge. So I feel like I'm really thin right now.
Yeah.
Until I eat. So.
Maybe I need to go eat the mahi.
Silver lining. Okay, guys. I know that last week I wasn't, I was kind of telling you guys that I wasn't really into it, but then I also said that maybe I was just a little tired. I think in reflecting back, maybe I was just getting too lazy to get to know the ladies. Okay. That's why.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. I think we have a lot of franchises, and maybe I wasn't looking forward to getting to know new people from scratch. But I kind of changed my mind, like, while I was trying to get ready to rewatch the first episode and then watching the second episode, right next to it. I actually didn't mind the second episode, but then I already started with low expectations. Um, I did love the Oscar Mayer bacon moment in the second episode. Lisa was just like, I think Lisa had some brilliant moments this episode. Like, she was, she was craving for that bacon, and I love a woman who loves bacon, and I also love that she was like, I also love that she was like, oh, like Nina was so fake. She talked a lot of trash about Caroline Stanbury, and I'm not gonna tell all the terrible things that she said, but they're just like, oh, like she said she was ghetto, ratchet, trashy, but those are all the good. Like, I love that.
And she's like, those aren't the worst things that she said. I'm like, how much worse does it get than that?
Maybe we'll see some more of that, like in the upcoming episodes. So for me, I really started to settle in, and or at least trying to get invested in getting to know the girls, especially Lisa, Sarah, and Chanel Ayan. Like, I was really drawn, and I felt I felt really bad when she was recounting the story about like her dad just being awful to her, like when when she was growing up. And that certainly brings a lot of triggers with you as as you grow up, and it's hard to let go, no matter how hard you try to.
Mm.
I
Get
also
ready.
think it's so important to set that tone at the beginning so we know why she is the way she is and where she's coming from. And
Mhm.
she explained that she lived in a village and that her mom wasn't very educated and she would have to cross the river to go get things. And like, she definitely comes from a totally different lifestyle than, where she is today. And her relationship with her husband, I mean, I'm invested in Chanel, which, Joe, since now you've kind of put yourself back into it, who is your breakout star so far of Dubai?
um I think Chanel definitely is a breakout star for me. I don't necessarily think she'll end up being my favorite. I think I might actually. Here's the thing. I think I actually like, for now, for the first two episodes, I like Lisa and Sarah. Um More so than I actually do Chanel Ayan, but definitely Chanel gives me life for this franchise. I love it.
Okay. And then if it like coming down to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Real Housewives of Dubai, before we take our next caller, because I'm going to give Jason a little bit of a break in between these two recaps. I can tell that he's not feeling good, but which one are you more interested in watching at this point? Is it still Beverly Hills? Is this still your favorite housewife of all time?
Well, I have probably one of the less popular opinions on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but I still like watching Beverly Hills. But again, I guess this is with my bias that because I've started watching with Beverly Hills, that I've gotten more invested with those ladies than the Dubai girls. So
Okay.
I still watch. Yeah, I still like watching.
I mean, yeah, we're so invested in Beverly Hills. I think it's hard to answer that question. And honestly, they've been killing it this season.
I mean,
It's been really good.
And well, we'll talk about it, but I just want to, in the recap, I have to talk about the fact that Lisa came from grieving the passing of her mother and then just sat herself right at the seat in Mexico. And she's like, it's already bad. You can't come back from that. I'm like, wait, you're already stirring shit? Like, wait a minute. But
I know.
we'll talk about that.
Oh,
in the
with
Beverly
Sutton?
Hills recap.
Yeah.
When she just looked at her and she's like, you got to talk about her and Erica playing off of each other. It's almost annoying, but it's kind of funny to me. We'll talk about it in the Beverly Hills recap. But Joe, thank you so much for calling in, and we hope we get to see you for that. And also, thank you for happy anniversary wishes.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Joe.
Okay, have a good one, guys.
All right, bye. All right, we're going to bring up Krista Marie Miller real quick. Before we drop off, I'm going to give Jason 20 minutes. We're 35 minutes in, so we're going to cap this at 40, and then we'll be back for Beverly Hills. Here we go. Hi, Krista.
Hey, Krista.
Guys. Hi. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
All right, so Krista, I want to hit you with a round. This is going to be like lightning round questions, and I just want to put you on the spot and have you answer them.
Go ahead.
Favorite housewife of Dubai?
Lisa Milan.
Oh,
Lisa Milan?
yeah.
Right.
I see her coming up. Like she's gonna be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that.
I always say because they always kind of like trick us and show it. They make us think one thing in the beginning, and then somebody else turns out to be like, I don't know. I'm fascinated by her.
Least favorite housewife of Dubai?
Ooh.
No.
I don't think I have one.
I don't have one yet, but I suspect it would be. I don't know her name. I don't remember her name.
Nina?
Possibly.
Are you talking about this one on the left?
Yeah, the girl that you were pulling up. Yeah, her. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, her.
Okay. So my next question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I feel like this. I can't get into Dubai yet. I feel like I almost kind of forget like that's been 2 episodes already or 3 episodes.
No, it's been 2 episodes. Yeah, see, that's a problem. We got it. That's why I don't get why Bravo. Like, how would you give us such a lackluster episode? Like, second episode
right off the bat. We need more happening so we can.
To be honest,
like we're learning these ladies.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting through the episodes, guys. I really am right now. It's really painful.
The premiere episode.
But we had a lot of people said this about Potomac and Salt Lake.
Yeah. They did.
Yeah, it's a new franchise, new ladies. I think it needs some time.
Potomac took 3 years, and all of a sudden it was like, where have you guys been? And like it was a whole new franchise. You know, something happened. But go ahead.
If somebody shows up to your house with a goat, what are we doing?
I eat it. I eat it.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Pool.
No, I turn them into my pet like I do every other animal that shows up at my door.
I had a girl growing up and her name was Rosie, and she used to live right next to, like, we had a pool and they made a little thing next to the pool, and she used to live right there, and she was so cute. Yes. And we had her and her sister. I forgot what the sister's name was, but then they gave us 2 sick goats, and then it like traumatized me and I never wanted a goat again. So then I got a chameleon. But
goat yoga. I would do goat yoga.
Goat yoga. Okay. Okay. Goat yoga. All right. And then with that, I want you to kind of set the tone for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills before we get into that recap. What do you think so far, 1 to 10, this franchise, season 12, where are you at overall? 1 to 10.
Beverly Hills?
Yes.
Where am I at? If we don't get rid of the Fox Force 5, I believe that it's not working anymore. Because I feel like there's a never-ending resolve with them. That it's the same pattern of F shit that they do to everyone. And it started with Denise, or actually probably started way before that. And I'm over it. And it's like they put this stuff, these fake news stories out in the social media with these cryptic things, and they make us all talk. And then we get these episodes, and it's like I'm over it. I feel like Garcelle, Sutton, and I don't even like Diana at this point. Like, I don't know what Crystal's deal is. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know why Kyle has drunk the Kool-Aid with Erica. The cackling of Lisa and Erica has to go. Like, it is a crap show right now. It is and it's damaging for a lot of people. Crystal thinks that this is damaging. It's damaging for a lot more people than just her. Because
before we end up giving Jason his 20-minute little gap, I do want to say Jason pointed that out yesterday, that said, from the dark comments being said to Lisa's mom, which that's something that she went through, but it's really like this week was a hard episode to watch. It's
heavy. It's been heavy for seasons. And that's the thing. I was expecting it to be a little less heavy, but I mean, we're dealing with Lisa, we're doing with Erica, then we have Crystal stuff, and then Sutton stuff, and then Dorit we'll be hearing about all season. And it's just like, this is so heavy. It's like, I just want to see
resolve.
Lisa Vanderpump get in her limo and drive over to Adrienne Malouf's house. That's the kind of stuff I miss from the Housewives.
I feel like we're in like a tornado right now of it. Like there's no light at the end of the tunnel unless Bravo does something. I don't want to talk. I'm telling you, with Erica, I don't want to hear it anymore. It's been 2 years. No, I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of it.
All right. Well, with that said, guys, Kristen Marie Miller has spoken, and we will be back in less than 20 minutes for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We pinned the link at the top of the live chat. I know more people are invested in Beverly Hills than Dubai, but I had to get Dubai out of the way. Hopefully it gets better. Krista, thank you so much, and we hope that we see you in 20 minutes.
I will be there. Love you guys.
Love you guys. All right, Jason, I'm going to give you a 20-minute break. Go drink your Pedialyte or whatever you need. We love you guys so much. Don't forget the banner at the bottom. Keep an eye out for tomorrow. We're doing a video drop with another big announcement. Jason worked his tail off yesterday morning during our anniversary to put this together. So thank you so much to Jason. Don't forget to smash that like button. We love you, and we'll see you in 20 minutes. And thank you to all of our mods and amazing callers. Bye, guys. And our
Bye,
super
everyone.
chat.